Good morning, students. Today's topic is main recommendations of Education Commission, Kothari Commission, 1964 to 1966, Part 1. And this topic's objectives are to provide policies and guidelines for the development of education in India and to find and ever develop a general pattern of education in India and to examine every aspect of the Indian education sector. Although the Kothari Commission was established to review the entire education sector, two important domains were left out of its peer review. They were legal education and medical education. Next, the Kothari Commission. Kothari Commission was set up by the Government of India on 14th July 1964 under the chairmanship of Daulat Singh Kothari, then chairman of the University Grant Commission. The commissions aimed at examining all aspects of the educational sector across the country. And next, the among other objectives behind setting up of this commission also included evaluation of a general pattern of education. The commission, under the chairmanship of D.S. Kothari, was the sixth commission in India post independence and the first commission with comprehensive terms of reference on education. The commission had submitted its report on 29 June 1966. Its recommendations were accommodated in India's first national policy on education in 1968. These are the Commission's recommendations and the start now. The first recommendation, the main recommendations in the area of educational administration are as follows. The first recommendation is free and compulsory education. Various efforts should be made for the early fulfillment of the directive principle under Article 45 of the Constitution, seeking to provide free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14. Suitable programs should be developed and to reduce the prevailing wastage and stagnation in schools and to ensure that every child who is enrolled in school successfully completes the prescribed course. This is the free and compulsory education recommended by the Commission. And the next is status. Status, emoluments, and education of teachers. Of all factors which determine the quality of education and its contribution to national development. The teacher is undoubtedly the most important. It is on his personal qualities and character, his educational qualifications, and professional competence that the success of all educational endeavor must ultimately depend. The teacher must therefore be accorded an honored place in society. Their emoluments and other service consi- conditions should be adequate and satisfactory, having regard to their qualifications and responsibilities. These are the status of the education of teachers, the academic freedom of teachers to pursue and publish independent studies and research, and to speak and write about significant national and international issues should be protected. In teacher education, particularly in service education, should receive due emphasis. And the next, development of languages. First is regional languages, the energetic development of Indian language and literature is a sine qua non for educational and cultural development. Unless this is done, the creative energies of the people will not be released. Standards of education will not improve. Knowledge will not spread to the pupil. And the gulf between the intelligentsia and the masses will remain if not widened further. And the regional languages are already in use as media of education at the primary and secondary stages. Urgent steps should now be taken to adopt them as media of education at the university stage. And this stage, the three language formula. Three language formula at the secondary stage, the state governments should adopt and vigorously implement the three language formula, which includes the study of a modern Indian language, preferably one of the southern languages, apart from Hindi and English in the Hindi speaking states, and of Hindi along with the regional language and English in the non Hindi speaking state. These suitable courses in Hindi and or English should also be available in universities and colleges with the view of improving the proficiency of students in these languages up to the prescribed university standards. And the Next is Hindi. Every effort should be made to promote the development of Hindi. In developing Hindi as the link language, due care should be taken to ensure that it will serve as provided for in Article 351 of the Constitution as a medium of expression for all the elements of the composite cultural culture of India. In the establishment in non Hindi states of colleges and other institutions of higher education which use Hindi as the medium of education should be encouraged. And the next language is Sanskrit. Sanskrit, considering the spatial importance of Sanskrit to the growth and development of Indian languages and its unique contribution to the cultural unity of the country. Facilities for its teaching at the school and university stages should be offered on a more liberal scale. In the Sanskrit development of new method of teaching, the language should be encouraged and the possibility explored of including the study of Sanskrit in the in those courses such as modern India languages, ancient Indian history, ideology, and Indian philosophy. At the first and second degree stage, where such language knowledge is useful. And the next is international languages. Spatial emphasis needs to be laid on the study of English and other international languages. World knowledge is growing at a tremendous pace, especially in science and technology. India must not only keep up this growth, but should also make her own significant contribution to it. For this purpose, study of English deserves to be spatially strengthened. And the next is the equalization of educational opportunity. Strenuous effort should be made to equalize education opportunities and to promote regional imbalance to in the provision of educational facilities should be corrected and good educational facilities should be provided in rural and other backward areas. And the next is to promote social cohesion and national integration. The common school system, as recommended by the Education Commission should be adopted. Efforts should be made to improve the standard of education in general schools. And all special schools, like public schools, should be required to admit student on the basis of merit and also to provide a prescribed proportion of free studentships to prevent segregation of social classes. This will not, however, affect the rights of minorities under Article 30 of the Constitutions. And the next is the education of girls should receive emphasis not only on grounds of social justice but also because it accelerates social transformation. And the next more intensive efforts are needed to develop education among the backward classes and especially among the tribal people. And educational facilities for the physically and mentally handicapped student children should be expanded and attempts should be made to develop integrated programs enabling the handicapped children to study in regular schools. And the next recommendation, identification of talent. For the cultivation of excellence, it is necessary that talent in diverse fields should be identified and as early an age as possible, and every stimulus and opportunity given for its full development. And this is the work experiences and national services. The school and the community should be brought closer through suitable programs of mutual services and support, work experience, and national service, including participation in meaningful and challenging programs of community service and national reconstruction should accordingly become an integral part of education and emphasize in these programs should be on self help, character formation, and on developing a sense of social commitment. And the next recommendation is science education and research with a view of accelerating the growth of the national economy. Science education and research should receiving high priority. Science and mathematics should be an integral part of general education till the end of the school stage. And the next of the recommendation is education for agriculture and industry. Special emphasis should be placed on the development of education for agriculture and industry. And the part A, there should be at least one agriculture university in every state. These should, as far as possible, be single campus universities, but where necessary, they may have constituent colleges on different campus. And other universities may also be assisted where the necessary potential exists to develop strong departments for the study of one or more aspects of agriculture. And the next is the part B in technical education. In technical education, practical training in industry should form an integral part of such education. Technical education and research should be related closely to industry, encouraging the flow of personnel both ways and providing for continuous cooperation in the provision, design, and periodically review of training programs and facilities. And the next point is there should be a continuous review of the agricultural, industrial, and other technical manpower needs of the country, and effort should be made continuously to maintain a proper balance between the output of the educational institutions and employment opportunities. And the next is the production of books. The quality of books should be improved by attracting the best writing talent through a liberal policy of incentives and remuneration. Immediate steps should be taken for the production of high quality textbooks for schools and universities. Frequent changes of textbooks should be avoided, and their prices should be low enough for students or ordinary means to buy them. And this possibility of establishing autonomous books, corporation, and commercial lines should be examined, and efforts should be made to have a few basic textbooks common throughout the country. Special attention should be given to book for children and to university level books in regional languages. And the next is examination. Examination, a major goal of examination reforms should be to improve the reliability and validity of examination and to make evaluation a continuous process aimed at helping the student to improve his level of achievement rather than at certifying the quality of his performance at a given moment of time. And the next is the secondary education. And the secondary education opportunity at the secondary and higher level is a major instrument of social change and transformation. And the facilities for secondary education should accordingly be extend expectationary to the area and classes which have been denied these in the past. And the next part of this, there is a needed to increase facilities for technical and vocational education. At this stage, provision of facilities for secondary and vocational education should conform broadly to the requirements of the developing economy and real employment opportunities. Such linkage is necessary to make technical and vocational education at the secondary stage effectively terminal and facilities for technical and vocational education should be suitably diversified to cover a large number of fields such as agriculture, industry, trade and commerce, medicine, and public health, from home management, arts and crafts, secretarial training, etc. At the next is the university education. Universities education, a number of whole-time students to be admitted to a college or universities department should be determined with reference to the laboratory, library, and other facilities, and to the strength of the staff. And next, the considerable care is needed in establishing new universities. These should be started only after an adequate provision of funds has been made for the purpose and due care has been taken to ensure proper standards. And these standards, the next point is spatial attention should be given to the organization of postgraduate courses and to the improvement standard of training and research at this level. Centers of advanced study should be strengthened and a small number of clusters of centers aiming at the highest possible standards in research and training should be established. There is a need to give increased support to research in universities. Generally, the institution for research should, as far as possible, function within the fold of universities or in intimate association with them. And the next recommendation, part time education and correspondence courses. Part time education and correspondence courses should be developed on a large scale at the university stage. Such facilities should also be developed for secondary school students, for teachers, and for agricultural, industrial, and other workers. An education through part time and correspondence courses should be given the same status as full time education. Such facilities will smoother transition from school to work, promote the cause of education, and provide them. The next is the spread of literacy and adult education. The opportunity to the large number of the people who have the desire to educate themselves further but cannot do so on the full time basis. And the next is the spread of literacy and adult education. The liquidation of mass literacy is necessary not only for promoting participation in the working of democratic institution and for accelerating programs of production, especially in agriculture, but for quickening the tempo of national development in general. And the special emphasis should be given to the education of young practicing farmers and to the training of youth for self employment, and the employees in large commercial, industrial, and other concern should come from the industrial undertaking in the public sector, and teachers and students should be actively involved in organizing literacy campaigning, especially as part of the social and national service program. And the next is the game and sports. Games and sports should be developed on a large scale with the object of improving the physical fitness and sportsmanship of the average student as well as of those who excel in this department. We are playing field and other facilities for developing a nationwide program of physical education do not exist. These should be provided on a priority basis. This is the recommendation of games and sports as also. And the next is education monitoring, moni- minorities, education of minorities, games and sports should be made not only to protect the rights of minorities but to promote their educational interests as suggested in the statement issued by the Conference of the Chief Minister of States and Central Ministers held in August 1961. This is the educational of minorities. And the next, the educational structure is educational structure. It will be advan- advantageous to have a broadly uniform the educational structure in all parts of the country. The ultimate objective should be to adopt the 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern, the higher secondary stage of 2 years being located in a school, colleges, or both according to local conditions. And the reconstructions of education on the lines indicated above will need additional outlays. The aim should be gradually to increase the investment in education so as to reach a level of expenditure of 6% of the national income as early as possible. And the government of India recognize the reconstruction of education is no easy task. Not only are the resources scarce, but the problems are exceedingly complex, considering the key role which education, science, and research play in developing the material and human resources of the country, and the government of India will, in addition to undertaking programs in the central sector, assist the central governments for the development of programs of national importance where considerate action on the part of the states and the center is called for. The government of India will also review every 5 years the progress made, the recommend guideline for future development, and the next is the result of Kothari Commission. The result of Kothari Commission recommendation, the education system at the national level was aligned in 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern as recommended by the Kothari Commission. One of the most important recommendation of the Kothari Commission was the national policy of education. The bill was passed in the parliament under the leadership of former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. And it has been reported that even the national policy on education in 1986 was influenced by recommendation of Kothari Commission, which were formulated under the leadership of former Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi. And as per recommendations of Kothari Commissions, the education sector in India was stratified into national bodies, state bodies, and the central bodies. This is the all about the topic of recommendation of Kothari Commission, and the end of the topic. Some references is there. These are the references of this topic, and the end of this topic. Some multiple choice question is there. First question is the policy recommended by the Kothari Commission was language is three language formula, two language formula, Hindi, mother tongue. The answer of this question is three language formula. And the next question is which of the following state does not have state open university? Odisha, Bihar, Assam, West Bengal. What is the answer of this question? The answer of this question is Odisha. Odisha is the answer of this question. And the next question, RTE Act was implemented in India with effect from 1st April 2009, 1st May 2010, 1st April 2008, 1st April 2010. The right answer of this question is 1st May 2010. And the next question, the first national policy on education in free India was launched. in the year 1947, 1964, 1968, and 1986? The right answer of this question is 1968. 1968 is the right answer of this question. And the next question, why is Sharatha Act important in the Indian constitution? It recommends free education for all children up to the age of 14. It recommends supply of study material to girls free of cost. It prohibits student marriage of girls. It prohibited child labor. The right answer is it prohibits child marriage of girls. And the next question, Operation Blackboard program was introduced to improve teacher education, primary education, secondary education, and higher education. What is the right answer? The right answer of this question is primary education. And the next question, refer refresh refresher course for teacher education in secondary level of conducted by State Institute of Education, Academic Staff College, National Institute of Education, National Council for Teacher Education. The right answer of this question is the State Institutes of Education. And the next question, the objective of inclusive education is to uncover and minimize barriers to learning, to change attitude, behaviors, teaching methods, curricula, and environments to meet the needs of all children and to promote constantly the local cultures and constants of various committees of the society. And last option is all the above. The right answer of this question is all of the above is the right answer. And next question is, the South Asia University is situated in the city of Colombo, Dhaka, New Delhi, and Kathmandu. The right answer of this question is New Delhi. New Delhi is the right answer of this question. Next question, and the last question of this topic, Challenger, Chancellor of Vi- Visa Bharati, Vishwa Bharati University. Chancellor of Vishwa Bharati University. First is President of India, Prime Minister of India, Governor of West Bengal, and the Chief Minister of West Bengal. The right answer of this question is Prime Minister of India. This is the right answer of this question. At the end of this topic, thank you